Good afternoon. It is a wonderful day in the garden today. This is one of my favorite days of the whole year. You might hear me say that a lot actually, but this honestly is one of my favorite days of the entire year. I get to start cleaning up the beds, making the garden look pretty, and getting things ready for planting. So let's do it. I've got a bunch of debris in my garden. I've got these poles that I'm getting ready to start setting up my tomato trellis for this year. We're going to hang some strings down from there. We got some old gourds that have been sitting out all year, drying, getting ready to bring inside. But the idea behind having so much debris in the garden is because there are so many overwintering bugs. And then there's also the birds who really just love to eat seeds. And everybody needs to have a habitat in order to survive until the next year. I'm going to have a tomato trellis right there, and you can see the food forest through there. So I leave these in so we can have habitat for insects and good beneficial bugs until the following year. And then as it starts to warm up, like it's been doing lately, I clean things out. And they'll probably have plenty of places at this point because I don't know if you can see on the ground, things are starting to green up. Got some onions that got left from last year. We have some yarrow. I planted yarrow in the garden beds because they're a good pest deterrent. They confuse the scent. Some old tobacco stalks. And my sketchy stepladder that I'm using to bang in the poles for the tomato trellises and the eggplant trellises. So you can see there's a lot of debris. There's some weeds popping up. So what I'll be doing this video is going to be cleaning out all the debris, and then also if I have some time today, I'm going to start laying some fresh leaf mold on top of the beds and some fresh mulch in between the beds because I want to get the beds prepped for having plants go in. I've got some seedlings that are ready to go and I need a place for them. And so there are some weeds popping up, so that leaf mold's gonna kind of squelch that, and then the mulch is going to take care of any weeds that might be popping up in the pathways, and it's just going to give it a very clean look. I love a garden that looks super clean because in the spring that's the only time that I get that. Definitely later on things become a little bit more chaotic like. I have a organized chaos garden. That's how I like to describe it. Organized chaos, planned confusion. So let me show you how it goes. This is my echinacea bed, and I have echinacea growing in a lot of different places, but this is specifically my medicinal echinacea bed. You can see there's a lot of seeds still on the heads from flowers of last year. And what I do is, as I'm clearing this out, I make a pile of these, and then anything else that has seeds that I really like, and I take them and I lay them out in the field over there. And I don't want to take the time to intentionally plant that field right now. I got too many other things. But if some of these seeds get buried and they sprout and I end up with echinacea in the field, that is an excellent thing. I do that with catnip. I do that with bee balm. I do that with my marshmallow. You can see here's some of the old marshmallow heads. I cut off some of the tops in the fall and put them out in the field already, but I left a bunch of them for the birds. So now I'll just be clearing the rest of them out, getting it down close to the dirt, and cleaning things up. Man, those chickens wish that they could come in here so badly. the best things about coming out this time of year and doing the cleaning of the garden now is that there's always treasures to find. If you wait until things just start to peek out, as you're clearing things away, there are so many exciting surprises to find that you might not have noticed if you weren't getting in there and getting your hands dirty. Let me show you. This is my marshmallow bed, and you can see where I was clipping away the old dead growth from last year, and then you can also see inside, look at that tiny little baby leaf, baby marshmallow plants popping up. Oh, they're so beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. And this is just my delight of the day. So I will be tucking them in nice and warm again and cozy with some cover of leaf mold tonight so they don't get too cold. Here is another exciting find. Again, you can see where I was cutting away. It's the fun thing about perennials. I didn't have to do anything. I just cut it away, and look, baby red stem wormwood coming up for us right here. It's just so exciting. And then also over here, you can see the feverfew. Now I love my feverfew. I absolutely love it. It looks kind of like chamomile when it's blooming. It is very enthusiastic. So some people might say or describe a type of enthusiastic plant like mint or feverfew or catnip or something like that as a bully in the garden, which is just, I don't know. I really think that there should be positivity in a garden, and you shouldn't be name calling to your plants. And after all, you put them there, right? And they're just doing what they're supposed to do. In fact, I like to call them my special helpers, because they are the ones who are like, oh, you got some space here? Let me fill it in for you. Is this bare and open? Let me come in and cover it up for you. And they're there and they're helping, and they're doing what nature wants. They're covering up space that's not being used. And so I think they're just extra super helpful. And so I just absolutely love them, and they hold a special and dear place in my heart. Now this right here is my old danshen from last year. My wormwood was over here last year, and then my feverfew is right here. And right in between is my danshen, and I really, really love, I love my danshen plant. And so, but you'll see that it's laid down on its own very, very flat. And so what I'll do is I'll cut the adjoining stems to the base of it, and you can see actually we got baby danshen coming up. Oh, it's so exciting. But I'm just going to leave this because it's laying down so flat. Now the feverfew is not laying down so flat, and I could try to lay it down, but that would just get compact, and I just don't want to deal with that. So but this is laying down just really beautifully, and I know that my only 3 plants are right back there, and I don't have to worry about anything popping up right here. And so I'm going to leave this, and then I'm going to put the leaf mold on top. So the idea of putting leaf mold on top of beds is that you want to build up the soil. You want to put as much organic matter as possible in it. And so if there is organic matter already laying on top of it, kind of creating a bed itself, I'm not going to move that. If it's sticking out and it's going to become a problem, or it's not quite the look that I want, then I'll take it out. Like all the wormwood, you can see how big and bushy that is over there in the pile. That was not going to lay down prettily for me, but the danshen is, and I have a few other ones that are, and so I'm just going to leave those in, and then I'll put some leaf mold on top of it and call that a day. You can hear the woodcutter going on in the background, but this is one of the reasons why I find that feverfew is like a helper for me. If you get it in the spring and it's coming outside, I like to keep it like in this area right here. If it's coming outside of its area, like the line that I like for him is right about here. So this guy is coming out a little bit too far. So all you do, I mean, I'm just yanking him out, and it's so easy. Shake out the roots a little bit, and then bring him to a spot that I'd like for him to go. Stick him in, put some dirt on top, tuck him in nice and tight, and there you go. Back to where he needs to go. And I just really don't feel like there's a problem with having too many flowers. There's always a spot that I can stick some flowers. So you'll see it's so cool. Let me pull this out. So the feverfew, this is where the root ball was, and then the stem laid down, got some growth on it. If that had stayed on the soil a little bit longer, it would have turned into this, and it would have made another root ball. And so that's how, other than seed, this is how feverfew is spreading. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in a spot where I just have grass growing right now. That's close to where our bees are going to be. And I'm going to plant feverfew there. And then our bees will be super happy because, oh my goodness, there's so many puns going on, because there is going to be so many flowers growing for them. And bees love feverfew, they love chamomile, they love bee balm, obviously. They love basically anything with nectar or pollen. And so anything that's extra or going beyond where I want it to be, I'm certainly not going to compost them or get rid of them. So let's go get them planted. So here is the lavender bed, and here's this kind of desolate wayside. I planted a couple of daffodils here earlier this spring, and then I'm just gonna really with my hands take the feverfew, grab some dirt up here, and just, I mean, this is extra plants. If they don't do so great, that's okay, but it's feverfew, and so the chances of it doing really, really well are super, super high. So we'll see. Well, that ended up taking a little bit longer than I thought it was, because I had a great time talking with my mother-in-law there. She was hanging up on the lavender field, or a hill, getting the bee electric fence ready. So that's super exciting. We have the bee trap up, the electric fence is ready to go, the hive is ready to go. We have some moth traps up there. All we're waiting for is the bees to arrive. But we just pray that they come, that they go into our swarm trap, and then we'll be ready for bees. Okay, bringing the leaf mold back. I don't know if you saw while I was cleaning things out of the garden or not, but I definitely never pulled anything out of the beds. I would always clip it right at the bed level and then pull the top part out and leave the roots in. This is very intentional. Those roots are going to decompose. If they're not perennial, those roots are going to decompose and become worm food, which is very important because it's a garden. We need worms. We need to feed the worms. And so, watch out for the weeds. I got my brush piles up in the middle of the aisles still. Anyway, so that worm compost is probably the best stuff that you can have, or the worm poop, I guess. But feed the worms, leave the roots in the ground, and they'll be super happy. Okay, so I'm just, this leaf mold, I got a big pile right here in front of me, is so warm just from decomposing in its pile. So I'm just going to put handfuls on the little baby plants that I was uncovering because I was cutting back. And you see, it's super, super easy to do. And yeah, I'm just going to do that with all my little baby plants. But you can feel it's so warm. I wish you could feel. If I was ever trapped out at night, you know I would be underneath those leaves over there, sleeping in that, because I would be toasty warm. Okay, well, the garden didn't get completely done today, but I got most of the stuff that was standing up, pulled the gourds down, cleaned out the trellises, and then there's a couple more things I need to chop and drop, and then a couple of things I need to get out up here in the higher bed area, the original garden area. But other than that, tomorrow I'm just going to come with a wheelbarrow, get all this stuff out of the aisles, and put some in the field if they've got seeds on them, and put the rest in the compost. Make the beds look super pretty with some leaf mold, make the aisles look really good with some fresh mulch, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today in the garden as I cleaned up and did some pittering and pattering around. Puttering. Tomorrow is going to be a much better day as far as looks in the garden, but today was probably one of the most rewarding days because I saw tons of new baby plants coming up from the perennials from last year, and a few things that I did not think were perennial in this area, and they just somehow managed to survive this year, so I'm very excited. I have a bed of chamomile already. I struggled growing chamomile last year, like really struggled. It was silly how much I struggled with that, and I have a bed of it. It's growing everywhere now. So, and I mean, I struggled so much that I didn't get flowers. So it's not like the seeds self-spread. That would have been nice if I had that. But I struggled so much, there was nothing. In fact, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to take you over to see it because I'm just so excited about it and so confounded about how this is working. Look at this. Oh, it's getting so dark. But look at chamomile. What? It's everywhere. It's even growing in the aisles. I don't even know. So that's super exciting. There's a couple other things that are coming up too that weren't supposed to be perennial and are apparently this year. So that's excellent. So good surprises, happy things. I'll show you what's going on tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day and stay blessed.